thank you for coming to join us today. For those who are not familiar, today we have Chris O'Hara of BentBox Comics coming to kick it with us. We had him on last time to talk about Refuge. And if you go to like the BentBox website or if you go on Global Comics as well too, you can find a lot of Chris's work on there. Stuff like Artificial. There's also what we are going to be talking about today, the series and I guess like a kind of like an anthology style series, Our Monsters.
Yeah.
Which right in time for Spooky Dookie season. Love it, absolutely love it.
By design, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess before we really get into everything, like what's been going on with you?
Just busy. Just busy. But having a lot of fun. Coming off hot on Refuge, going well with that, getting all those pages done. Meeting with the artist a couple times a week just to make sure we're on track. Going very well. We're doing our own Comic-Cons now. That's been going pretty well. We have one coming up in November, so prepping for that, getting all the tables ready and the venue and all the people coming and everything. So, just busy. And then we have 4 comics in pre-launch. Well, 3 in pre-launch now that Our Monsters went live, but we have a bunch of comics, 2 creator-owned ones, and then one that's my own. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff.
And I know, like, was it just the other day? It might have been longer than the other day. Time is a construct.
Time is fake. It's not a thing.
It's not real.
It's not real, even though, except for when you're running out of it, in which case, apparently it's real. Very real then.
So, like, my understanding of when this was announced is probably like I'm probably like super late to the game just because like I said, just I have no concept of it. But I know you also had mentioned not too long ago that that you were going to be doing there was another title that was going to be coming to BentBox, Confederate Monsters.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like I said, you've been keeping pretty busy. You've been keeping pretty busy. So
oh yeah, I got it right there, man.
Yeah, bam, right there.
Just in case, well, I mean, it's fresh off the printing press, so.
Oh,
man, it looks good. It's so slick.
Dave
Schwartz killed it.
Dude, that looks fantastic. That looks fantastic.
The first time we had it was we went to Ocala Comic-Con not that long ago. Well, whatever it was. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, who knows? Who knows when I was there? But I was there, I think, and it was a hit. People really liked it. So I'm happy with it so far, and it's one of our first releases where we actually have because everything's creator owned, and if you're familiar with indie comics, you get it out when you can. When you can afford it, when the artist is free and available and all this stuff. So there's a lot of constraints that can be put on a typical indie comic, and to the point where you get one out every other year sometimes. You never know. But this I'm really excited because we're actually working with the artist who's also the writer, a single, one-man show. So it's a little easier for us to work with it and figure out like a nice release schedule. So this is one of the first series where we have a legit release schedule. It's going to be every other month coming out with an issue until issue 6, which will be the finale. So it's a 6-issue like limited series.
Dude, that is cool. Dude, that is pretty damn cool. I mean, that's wild. So it's like, you've been pretty busy. You've like I gotta ask because man, the idea of doing something like this just seems incredibly daunting. Putting together like your own events, like what dark sorcery?
Well, you know what? I'm in I wish I was doing dark sorcery. That would be so much help. Right now I'm just doing regular old Dollar Tree sorcery, and it's going okay. That's the only thing I can afford at the moment. But I'm an idea guy. I've always been an idea guy. And then honestly, before, rarely does an idea guy ever have his idea happen. That's just not a thing. You just live in your ideas and you enjoy this fantasy of one day I'll do something, and then it never happens. Well, I mean, I started putting, pen to paper with the comic book stuff. That was idea guy number one, like actually happening. So from there, it's just kind of snowballed into things that I think I can do.
Oh.
And then I do them. I fake it till you make it is my number one life motto.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad to hear you say that, because that's kind of what I feel like is for my type of personality, my type of sensibilities. That's kind of that's kind of what's gotten me through.
Yeah.
As far as I've gotten, is I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just doing stuff, man. Everybody like looks at me like I'm some kind of like pro, and I'm just like,
how do you do it? It's like, dude, I don't know. I'm just doing it.
I'm doing things, man.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, because our event that we're doing is called, shout out, if you're in the area of Southwest Florida, if you're listening to this, definitely come check it out. But November 1st, we're having the second annual Con at the Arcade Spooktacular. It's going to be hosted by Dave & Buster's in Fort Myers, Florida. So that whole thing just came from us doing a ton of local cons, and it was just one of those ones one of those idea guy moments where I was in a Dave & Buster's after coaching my kid's soccer game on a Saturday. I'm like, dude, I probably reeked. I just smelled like outdoors, and I was sweaty and everything like that. And I was wearing just gym shorts and a dirty, coach's uniform. And I told Callan, my son, I was like, let's go to Dave & Buster's after your game. You did really well. We go there. I see an empty conference hall, or what they call it, like a function room, but it's fairly decent size. It's decent enough. And so I just go, I think my wife was there, and I'm like looking at her. I'm like, I wonder if we could put a con in there. And she goes, what are you talking about? I was like, I'll be right back. I don't know why. And then, I just walked up to the front desk. I was like, is your general manager around? And she's just like, yeah, why? I was like, just want to ask her some questions if she's available. She came out. I pretended like I knew what I was talking about. And I'm like, hey, my name's Chris. I'm with BentBox Comics. We're a local publisher. We're actually we're interested in getting into event organization. And I have a really cool idea. I want to pitch it by you. And, I didn't have a suit and tie. I didn't have, it was just, but she bit, and she fell for the mask I was wearing. And, but the first event went very well, which was kind of the proof is in the pudding situation. Was like the first event was this last April, went extremely well, to the point where I was like, I'm surprised. And she came in after the event was over. I was laying on the ground in an empty room with all of my stuff just around. I was exhausted. I'm doing it all myself because I had to do it solo. My family was sick. My friends were busy. So it was 100% solo con I did. Anyway, she walked in, she kind of chuckled at me, and she goes, when are we doing this again? And I'm like, dude, yes. So now we're in business. So yeah, it's fun though.
It sounds. So for me, my anxiety kind of ratcheted up the more you kept talking about like the process. Cause like in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, like, okay. Like for me, I would be like, oh wow, she actually bought this shit. Okay.
I have to actually. Yeah.
Now actually, okay. So now what? That's where my head immediately, so like that my anxiety just was like, oh my God, like how are we gonna fucking pull?
Yeah. Well, I know. I am cursed with no anxiety. And I say that because like anxiety is a safety precaution for most human beings. It's like, hey, don't do this really stupid thing. Don't walk in with board shorts and say, hey, I want to throw an event, just willy-nilly. But I don't have that. My wife has plenty. She has enough anxiety for the both of us. So I don't have that. But it's led me to be able to go like, hey, let's do our own Comic-Con. Let's run a publishing house. Let's, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I am glad that that you had the wherewithal to pull this off, because so many people so many people in a similar situation would have just turned around and walked away. So I tip my hat to you, man. I'm like, man, that's man.
Hey, trust me, I'd be lying if I haven't laid in bed late at night over the last like 3 weeks and thought, man, October could be so much easier if I hadn't done this. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm messaging a vendor who I haven't heard from, making sure that the table's ready. And I'm like, oh crap, now I need to have backup people. Okay, because I don't want this table to be empty. So yeah, you get that, and I have to deal with that on the daily. But it's fun. I have a lot of fun.
Oh. Well, you know what? I tip my hat. I tip that because that oh man, that's crazy. What I will say is the thing that I was really excited about when you hit me up about talking in October was obviously it's that time of year everybody's going through their horror movies and their Halloween costumes and and getting geared up for the season and y'all are dropping Our Monsters, which is on Kickstarter right now. Link is in the top of the chat. It is also in the description, so click on it, go to it. I want to get that spiel out of the way right now. Just go ahead and just say it up front. Go check it out because it looks like it's going to be it always feels weird to say that like something that's kind of horror themed is going to be a lot of fun, but for me it is.
Yeah, same.
For me it is.
I'm a horror guy. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah. That's my wheelhouse. If there was any other thing that I could potentially dedicate my entire life to making content about, if it was not comics, it would be horror movies, because like
that'd be awesome. I've thought about that as well. Yeah.
Well, you know how kind of like I was saying, people do their horror movie like, oh, here's a list of horror movies I'm gonna watch, for October. That list is always difficult for me because I watch horror movies every day of the year.
Yeah, it's not. I don't save it for October,
right?
If I do it, typically my October is like rewatches. It's like let's go back and get spooked again because of this movie that I loved a long time ago, or throw in some of the new ones that I didn't get to catch. But otherwise, I'm pretty much up on all the horror movies.
That is my every. And I usually shift it. Usually, like 1 year, I'll do rewatches. The next year, which like this year, I'm trying to do movies I haven't seen before, or if I have seen them before, I've seen them very little. So yeah, when I saw this, and more specifically because of the nature of what it is, Our Monsters being a set of tales about children who are dealing with I guess the monsters that haunt them or that are in their midst, like kind of watching over them. I was like, oh wow, I'm in, because very rarely do we get. I feel like when we get horror related stuff, it's usually like grown ass people. Yeah, in horror
which
situations.
It's not super, and it's honestly hard to make that scary nowadays. If you ask me, like at least for me. We're probably we're jaded a little bit because we watch it so much. Right. And you're like, man, get out of my face! Like this is this is fine. Right. To your point, I just watched. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Bring Her Back. It's a more recent one.
Yes. I guess I did.
I thought it was okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was kind of mid. It was okay, but like. Just because of the whole nature of what we're saying, I just ate. I watched it while eating breakfast. And the one kid's like chewing on a knife, and I'm like, oh, interesting. And, so we're built.
It was tame by comparison to some things I've seen.
Exactly. So we're built different. That's what we're really saying. We're built different. Yeah. What's your favorite horror movie? I'm curious.
Oh,
maybe
man.
Not of all time, but maybe just something that's just like, that's the horror movie that you just made the biggest impact on you, or
man,
or maybe gave you some night terrors for a couple weeks.
I mean, I always go back to John Carpenter's The Thing. That's always kind of been like one of my like I don't know. It's always been the movie that like I go back and watch the most.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
because the whole people not knowing who they can trust,
Oh yeah.
not and even though like obviously seen it a bajillion times, I know who is not trustworthy. Every
Right.
time I go back and watch it, I'm like,
You still feel the
oh
dread of the character
yeah,
like sitting there not knowing. Yeah, it's
yeah,
that's just because it's like a timeless film. You know
yeah.
what I mean, they nailed the acting was
Mm.
perfect. The pacing was perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I always go to Hereditary. I don't.
Ah, such a good one. That's
I
such a
think
good
there
one.
was just something about it that it just messed with me. It was good, and I was like, I don't like anything happening right now, which is what I want from a horror movie. And
Well,
then that
especially if you go back and
will.
watch it, rewatch
I've only seen
value
it
on it.
once.
Oh wow! So the rewatch value of that film is
Is it good?
insane. It's
I watched
insane.
it once, and I was literally like, "Ooh, okay, I'm good for. I think I'm good for a little bit," which is stuck in my head.
uh,
But I'll have to go back and rewatch it. Yeah,
y-
maybe this October.
well, you will start to pick up
All the
on
little.
like all the little like there's so many little things that were happening in the background, like so many clues of what was going
Okay.
on. And then like people that like are like people that were because of shadow work and everything, you never
Right.
noticed were like standing around, and then when you go back, like, oh my god, I never saw that. I didn't realize that that person was standing there that whole time. It's like, okay, all right, well,
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
seen
stuff
it.
that's through the whole
It's
movie.
crazy. It's so cool. I saw a reel the other. So I kind of spoiled it for myself because I saw like a reel the other day that was like the cool Easter eggs with Hereditary, and one was like it's freaking just the devil just in the corner or something like that. Like it was
Yeah,
just like I was like, how did I not see that? That's so cool. So yeah, I'll have to
yeah,
definitely go back and rewatch it. But that
and
one's always
yeah.
been my top
That is
one
that
of.
like that's a very good one. That's a
Yeah.
that's a very strong one because that is definitely one I love to. It is unnerving to go back and watch, but I
Yeah,
still love to go. I still like having that sense of
for
that
sure.
sense of unease,
Yeah.
just because it escalates to the point where it's batshit insane by the time you get to the end of
When
it.
you go 0-60, like, 80% into the movie, and you're just like, we build, and now it's, hey, by the way, the foot is on the pedal on the floorboard. Like, we're just
Right.
going. That's always so much fun. It's like
I love it.
nonstop for the last 20 minutes, just your jaws on the floor. Yeah, so that's why I love that one. Anyway,
Well, for this, you tell me like how y'all got our monsters to like
yeah.
what what pushed you in this specific direction?
Well, I've always loved horror. I've never really written horror per
Mm,
se. I'm one of those people who I do like to challenge myself, and I do like to figure out if I can do every genre. If I can do, like, I've done sci-fi, I've done like children fantasy, I've done, I'm trying to work my way through all the genres just to see if I
mm,
really, enjoy doing it or do it well. This one actually started though from, I think I mentioned this on my last turn around this podcast, but I mentioned that
mm,
when I'm looking for artists, I kind of go hunting. So like
mm,
I go on Instagram, I go on Twitter, I go on Behance, I go on every art station, and I look for things that are kind of like original, catch my eye, something that I haven't seen before. And I found this young artist named Luna A, and that's
mm.
technically her handle, but that's
Oh
not
yeah.
her real name. But still, so her handle's Luna A on Instagram, but she's
Mm,
a young Brazilian artist, and I found just the most creepy and unsettling image. It was a single page horror story,
mm,
no narration, no speech bubbles, just like 6 panels or 5 panels left off with like a ooh, feeling like, and the art's really nice, in a very unique way. I don't even know how to really describe it or compare it to other
mm.
things, but it's kind of childish and whimsical, but at the same time very unsettling and very creepy. So yeah, I mean that's basically it. And so I was very impressed with it, and I immediately, because I'm once again, it goes back to me, hey, is your general manager around? You know, it's that mentality of I DM'd her immediately. I was like, hey, I love this vibe. I was like, this is awesome. Have you? And she had like 6 or 7 up. None of them connected with each other at all. It was just single page horror stories. And so I said, hey, have you ever considered putting this into, print or a comic book or an anthology or something, some kind of thing to publish it? And, we had a couple back and forth, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm interested. I pitched her on the idea. I came up with the title, Our Monsters. We were trying to figure out what would really exemplify the vibe we're going for the whole series. And after seeing a bunch of her work, I'm like, these are kind of like personal, terrifying, unsettling monsters that these children and sometimes adults in her stories come in contact with. And so that's why I said Our Monsters. And another reason was because a lot of it is our monsters. Like, it's me coming up with something really creepy that I don't like and is unsettling, and sending it off to Luna and being like, hey, I got a really interesting idea for a single page horror story. Let's see what it looks like. And then it goes into the anthology. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And the first one went really well. It was last year. And then we, last October, Halloween spooky season. And we said, let's do this volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. Let's just keep it going. It's basically the BentBox Comics annual horror anthology is Our Monsters.
Oh, wow. So I like the idea of that. And just in case anyone's curious, to my understanding, the way everything is set up, if you missed it like the first go around, you can still get your hands on that. So
yeah, I mean, we have a catch up tier on the Kickstarter, so you can obviously do that. It's also on Global Comics if you want to just check out the digital version. But yeah, and once again, it's not connected in any way, so like you don't really need to read issue 1 to read issue 2. That said, I'm very proud of how volume 1 turned out. It just was exactly what I wanted it to be. And volume 2 is no different. So
what I wanted to show, let me see if I can let's see if I do this, will it break the okay, it didn't break anything.
You never know.
You never know. Well, like there was one particular one that I was trying to get to pull up, and for whatever reason the thing was like, no. And I was like, okay, fine. I won't do that one then. Okay, fine. Yeah. But no, I just wanted to kind of show, like, I love the kind of like, I can't really describe like the style itself, but like it just has this really cool, like, I don't know, like kind of a story, like kind of like a storybook type of like
I said, it's kind of childish and kind of like a kid's book, like a kid's book that is for nightmares. And that's why it was that marriage of like you see like little girl in her bed, and then this terrifying monster over her, and then it tucks her in at night and actually helps her settle in, and it's just like it's weird, but in a good way.
I like it though, because that's kind of the thing about horror when you involve children. I feel like you were kind of talking about earlier how like sometimes you watch like something that has like adult characters in it. You're kind of like you're kind of numb a little bit to some of the stuff going on with them. But like in the case of when children are involved, it's like and even more recently, because of recency bias, but the movie Good Boy is like, well, the reason why that hits different is because it's dog. It's dog. I don't care about the person. Screw them. I'm worried about the dog. It's the same thing with kids. It's like I care about the kid. I want to make sure the kid's okay.
And also, there's something about it that it like we can kind of draw back into our own innocence when we're watching like a horror movie with a child, and it's like it brings you back to someone who hasn't had all these life situations that they've gone through, and they've been hardened by how difficult life is. And that's why whenever I'm watching, if it's an adult, I'm like, oh, this guy just sucks, or he's a crazy person. You know what, bud? You need to really suck it up, okay? You need to just deal with it. And then you watch, little Timmy go through it, and it brings you back to little Chris, little Ernie, and you're like, this is terrifying. Imagining this innocence going through this situation. And so yeah, I think that's where that sweet spot is for horror movies, especially allowing them to be timeless. Focusing more on that.
Well, I mean, and even in a situation, even if you sit here and tell me like, oh yeah, nothing's gonna happen to the kids, still, I mean, I'm gonna have that level of, well, are you sure? Like,
yeah, like, especially after having kids, man.
Right.
I don't even remember. I used to be able to watch pretty much anything, and then now I can't. If it has something to do with like real stuff, real, anything with the kids, I just tell my wife, I was like, I'm not watching it. I can't.
Yeah.
I just don't watch it. Horror movies I can disconnect from because it's it's fantasy for the most part. But yeah, especially after having kids, it's a different level.
Right. Well, and even like with even if nothing like happens, even if nothing like happens to them specifically, like no one's hurt, I still like I always think about like the happily ever after, like what actually does happen after because I'm like, dude, this kid's gonna need some therapy. There's gonna be some therapy that's gonna have to come into play after this. Even if not a single hair on the child's head has been touched.
Yeah.
What does this child's future look like? Do they adjust? Do they not adjust? Like I start thinking about all those other things. That's why stuff like like this, I'm like, oh man, like because there's so much other stuff there to kind of muse about.
I feel like that was the biggest part about Bring Her Back to Me was the little boy. And then I mean, spoiler alert, obviously I'm not gonna get too much, but at the end when he gets like over that line. And then he comes back to him. I'm like, I hate this. I was like, I'm just like imagining him in that. I was like, oh my gosh,
it's like you're never gonna be okay.
No, you're gonna have very high dental bills and very high therapy bills. I'm sorry.
No,
hope your parents have good insurance.
It's not even negotiable at that point. Like and I think that's actually kind of one of the reasons why, even though I don't like it as much as some previous entries, why the movie Terrifier 3 hit a little bit different for me, because I was like, it was actually showing the people who survived the second one. They are a hot mess. They're not okay.
Obviously,
they're like they are struggling. They're not able to cope. They're seeing shit where maybe there isn't, and not sure what's real, what's not. And I think that that I like when the anybody can do gore. It's fine. It's a thing. Yeah, I'm not against it. I love it as much as the next guy.
I'll turn my head. And I'll go like, ugh.
Yeah.
But it by no means scares me. Like, gore is such a cheap trick to me nowadays. Like, you put that demon in the corner that I barely see. Okay.
Right.
I'm in. You got me now.
If you give me some psychological terror to go 100%. Along with that, like that's always going to enhance. That's always going to enhance the proceedings for me. So that's why I kind of jive with something like this, because I'm always going to be in the back of my head on it. And like, so let me ask you this, since we're talking about like, it's going to be like, different stories, like how many stories are y'all going to be putting into volume 2?
So it's about 15 to 20 stories.
Oh,
now,
wow.
It's not, they're all single. So that's where it becomes like a explanation situation where I'm like, they're all single page horror stories. They don't have any through line per se or connection one between the other. That said, they're all self-contained. That said, if you read Our Monsters 1, you'll notice that as a writer, because originally it was going to be just single page, it's just an anthology. If you read volume 1, you would notice that I injected a through line that went from beginning to end and had to pay off on the last page intentionally. So I don't want to give that impression. So it is quite literally an anthology of single page unsettling horror stories that have no connection one to the other. But at the same time, if you're paying attention, I want the last page to hit very differently than all the rest. So that's my job as a writer. which has been challenging to say the least, especially when it's single page horror stories. It's no dialogue,
Right.
like a silent comic. Basically, you also need to be able to set a scene. So this one was one of mine, and we kind of share the load, Luna and myself. She is messed up in the head just as I am, so she has her own little demons and monsters that she brings to the table, and then I have mine, and we mix them together, and it makes a fun little creepy book. But like this one was mine, and it was just one where I'm like, okay, and this is kind of how it is. I just message her. I'm like, all right, top panel, kid on the floor drawing a little picture. Second panel, he shows it to his dad. Make sure we're not seeing the picture yet. Reverse from the parents' view. This creepy slender man type monster is been just hanging out in the room with him. Something he doesn't see. So I was like, and that's kind of the payoff.
Terrifying.
Right. So that's how it's written and how it goes. But yeah, it's between 15 and 20. We try and put as many as we can in. Even right now, as the campaign goes, if I have an idea, I don't save it for volume 3. I go, hey, can you do this in 2 days? That way we can make sure it comes into the volume. So it's actually getting bigger and bigger as the campaign goes, but it's just, as I get more ideas.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, that it's a really cool concept, I think, too, because, like I said, being able to tell a single, story like in a page.
Yeah.
I first off, trying to tell a story in just a handful of pages is already kind of a difficult task, but to try and tell like a story in one is just sounds like pure insanity to me. But like I love it because like I said, like just in this one alone right here, like it really works. Like, cause the whole like the unseen, like someone being able to perceive something that I can't.
Oh yeah,
it is absolutely like terrifying. I would be sick.
Oh yeah, I mean this right here. No, hey, we're leaving the house, burning the house down. We're done. Let's go. Bye. I'm going to local priest. Whatever we can do. I'm chugging holy water. Like the second I see my kid draw that, I'm like, buddy, what the heck? And so.
Right.
So it is really fun writing these things. It's a challenge for sure, just because, like you said, it's a single page. I have to set up a premise and have a payoff on one page, and while also allowing it to not necessarily be stale. Or, one of the other challenges is causing the reader to look to the punchline early when the punchline's already only 2 seconds away. It's a weird balancing act of like. I don't even know how to explain it, but you have to basically, get them from point A to point B with the payoff being good enough for, the experience. I don't know. It's so challenging, but it's a lot of fun. So that's why I meant that's why I said it earlier. I enjoy challenging myself, and this is one of those ways of doing it. So and now that it's more of a annual thing for us, I look forward to it every year. We write it. As we go throughout the year, we're writing, I'll send her a page idea in January, and then I'll send her one in February if I have one. And by the time we get there, we have a good chunk of the book for October. And then through October, we kind of go into overdrive mode and get as many cool stories as we can. So yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Dude, that is, oh man. Like I said, it's so cool to me. Just, I don't know, just, I guess, I don't know. And I think that's kind of what makes it, so awesome to me is just that, a horror anthology isn't like, some, alien concept or anything, but like like having it done this way is really unique to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly pitched it. Like if I go to a Comic-Con, I honestly pitch it as like, how do I normally say it? I normally say like an experimental book. I was like, it's a little different than what you're used to. I pitch it as an anthology, but I'm like, it's going to be different than what you're used to. Typically, we show off the first like 6 pages, 6 stories or so, and people, I mean, it's one of our top sellers. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far.
I can believe it. I mean, just based on based on what you've shown me, and like I said, I went ahead and backed it and went and
Appreciate
got the previous volume as well. So
it.
because I was like,
There
hey,
you go.
looks cool. It just
Yeah,
looks
you're all
cool to
set.
me.
You'll like it. You won't disappoint. I think you'll like it. And that's another
But
cool thing we try and do is that volume one. The reason why we want to have it complete is so it ends on Halloween. So that was volume one. Volume two does the same. Ends on Halloween. My goal is that the digital PDF is in your inbox by the end of Halloween. So the day it ends, you have your digital PDF. So that way you can enjoy it on Halloween. That was my whole goal.
Dude.
Was to, because most people, you have to kind of plan ahead. You do your spooky, like spooky season's coming. Here's our horror comic. It'll be, do it in October. You'll read it on Christmas, and then that's a little tricky.
Yeah.
And so it was trying to juggle that, or you run your campaign in August where it's like, ooh, in October I'll be spooky. Yay! Like I can look forward to the spookiness.
Yeah, that's
so
timing's better.
I was trying to figure that out of like, I'd rather just run a spooky campaign in spooky season that lets you be able to read it at the end. On the optimal day on Halloween. So that's another cool part about it. So if you back it, you should receive your digital copy PDF, in your email that day on Halloween, so you can enjoy it.
Dude, I like I said, I love it. Now, with you kind of mentioned before that like the series itself was kind of like your first like real like kind of dive into you doing horror style storytelling. Has working on this kind of giving you the itch to kind of take it a step further to like maybe do like more like horror themed stuff?
For sure. I mean, I have so many ideas personally. So like I have a lot of, once again, I'm an idea guy. So like my Google, I have a Google Doc filled with hundreds of comic book ideas, and that'll run from just a title that has literally nothing underneath it. It's just a title, and I had to go back and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? I don't even understand what this was. Yeah, it's like it's going back and trying to reinterpret old me, and I'm like, what was I doing? All the way to like a really well thought out like synopsis and premise for a story. So I have all that in like a Google Doc, and I have tons of them. But I have noticed I've come up with a handful of more horror based stories lately, and I would love to give it a shot of like a legit, because to me, being jaded when it comes to horror movies, as you and I are, I can't imagine reading a comic book and being scared. I personally can't imagine it. That's just it. Like I can understand. I don't see myself getting that same sense of dread or like unsettled feeling or unnerving unless I go through like extreme setting of like turning off all the lights, reading it by myself in a closet. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, okay, maybe I can feel a little spooky. But otherwise, just a still image on a page is it doesn't translate to me personally. So if I do a horror book, I want to find a way to where it scares you. That's my goal. And being hard to scare myself, I'm hopeful that maybe I can nail that. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for my first horror book, if and when we ever get to that point. But no, I definitely have thought about getting more in depth with it for sure. Right now, this kind of like it scratches the itch because it's this annual thing. So like, and I'm able to kind of work on it slowly throughout the year. So that's been awesome. But yeah, I would love to dive deep into like a full story with character driven story. Yeah.
I mean, I do agree with you though, because that is definitely a difficult task. It's something I've talked to people about before in regards to for horror in comics. Because for one, I don't scare easy. Jump scares do nothing to me. I'm.
In fact, they probably make me mad more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm usually just kind of
real.
like, my the look I usually have on my face when I see a jump scare is usually annoyance.
It's like,
Like, but but
yeah.
like. But yeah, very even for the horror titles that I do enjoy, like yeah, that I love to read, I love to pick up, can't put down.
Mhm.
Even for those, I'm never ever actually scared of anything. I'm enjoying the vibes.
It's quite literally
You,
that. You're
yeah,
enjoying the vibe, and the vibe is it is a what do you call it? It's like a fabricated horror vibe
right.
that you go in already under that understanding of like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a horror book, so I'm going to have a horror vibe as I read it and everything like that.
Right.
But by the time you get to the end, I'm never scared.
Right.
And so I don't know if that's a thing that can be accomplished in
Mhm.
horror, in comics, just in general. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious. And so
The
yeah,
medium doesn't really lend itself to that.
it doesn't. And that's
You
why
know?
I would love to, once again, I like challenging myself. I think
Mhm.
it'd be a daunting task to be like, to come up with one that scares me, a still image that scares me.
Mhm.
And I feel like
Ri
the only way to do that is probably like impeccable pacing with
Yeah.
interesting page turns, and I'm not really sure yet. And
Yeah.
maybe the character needs to be really well developed or
Yeah.
completely empty. That way, maybe you put yourself there. So it's a weird challenge. That
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, you have to have, like, some unsettling imagery. Like
yeah.
something that, like, would really like, if I turn the page, I'm like, "Whoa!" Like, okay, like that, like, yeah, because I mean, it really, even, like, stuff that I hear people say is like,
Mhm.
"Oh, man, this is, you know, scary comic." I'm like,
Terrifying.
yeah, I'm
Is it
just
though?
like, really? I mean,
You're a little bit of a lightweight, aren't you?
you're right.
Yeah.
It's like as I sit here and take the belt and put it around my arm as I'm like tapping
Yeah,
in
for
like
real.
like
First time, huh?
like
Yeah.
like black tar horror or, movies
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. I'm just
for real.
like I'm very yeah, and it's I don't know, but I like you I would be very curious to see if
I think
I'd be very curious to see if you pull it off.
I think, and this is not like you know, toot my own horn too much, but I do think what I try to create with this specific series
Hmm.
is as close to that as I can see comics getting. That's
Hmm.
how I feel like the series is working. Mainly because like I've had so for example, and I mean it's a little different because I'm like writing it and I'm more like living in the page and trying to like figure out how the pacing would work and the
Hmm.
character would be and man, but I've told people I was like I love working on this book, but I'm so happy when it's done because as soon as I go, all right, let's start working on volume 2, all I'm doing is trying to think of things that would creep me out and scare me. That's all I'm doing for months on end. And what that means is I have to, when I get before when I get an idea for artificial or something or refuge, nice little
Hmm.
fun story about an adventure with a fluffy monster and everything. That's fun. When I have an idea about that in the shower and I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, oh, okay, that'd be good for issue 2. Sweet. That's fine. When I'm laying in bed at night, when my wife's asleep and all the lights are off, and then an idea pops in my head, that's fine. That's perfect
Hmm.
place. I get my phone, I mark it down. Sweet.
Hmm.
Our monsters is it sucks because all I'm doing is like I'll be laying in bed and I'll be like, all right, the door opens up, a little bit of light shines through. I see something quickly go this way underneath the bed. I feel the bed move a bit. I look to the right, porcelain mask face, something like that. Maybe that'd be kind of creepy, right? Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
really creepy. Okay, and then you know what I mean? That's me thinking, and then I'm like, all right, night night. And so that's how I've been writing it. And I'm in the shower and I'm just imagining like something coming out of the drain or
Mhm.
like, a hand coming on the shower door. So the entire time I'm writing this book, I'm just thinking of creepy situations that
Right.
I'm the lead in for the most part. So that's kind of the funny part of it is it's terrifying to me. And I do think based on how we pace the book, we add a little through line that pays off at the end. um, I think this is as close to making you actually kind of creeped out and scared that you're going to get it on a comic book. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, just on like some of the stuff that we were looking at, like I mean, so yeah, it was some unsettling stuff, like some very it's like stuff that like it as I look at it and I'm just kind of like, oh wow, yeah, that would be a totally fucked up thing to like if I'm laying in bed and suddenly there is some strange monster, just regardless of how benign or malevolent the monster might be, I'm gonna be terrified because that's and I don't know, maybe other people have experienced this. I have no idea, but if you've ever suffered sleep paralysis,
I'm glad you bring this up. Continue, and then I have a small story for you.
Like the probably of the 2 times in my life that I have ever like had that sensation happen, they were all some of the most terrifying instances of like I don't know, just like imagining that I can't move, like not being able to move, but like imagining seeing something off to the side that I can't fully make out, which makes it even more terrifying because I don't know if it's a person, I don't know if it's a monster, I don't know if it's like I don't know what it is, but being able to see like, and not like fully, but seeing out like almost in like the corner of my eye, like where like I like. Even if I strain my eyes all the way to the side, like I'm still not going to be able to fully see it. That makes it scarier. So yeah, when I see something like that, it's like, yeah, that's going to ramp it up.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. You're familiar with the term sleep paralysis demon, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if anyone isn't, feel free to give it a goog. It's a really crappy thing that I hate so much. But when I was about 8 or 9, maybe 10, I had a month-long stint of being visited by the sleep paralysis demon every night for 30 days straight.
Oh my God.
It was like, even right now I get chills because I hate it so much. So like the thing you can't really verbalize too much is it's just dread. Yeah. I don't know how to say it any other way other than like terrifying, unsettling, like hopeless dread. And the bigger issue is it feels like an eternity. Every night. So what would happen is every night I'd be laying in bed. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. I'm like, what's going on? You can't move. You can't scream. You can't talk. Nothing. You can't do anything.
God.
And then every night for 30 days, the door would open. This very tall, slender man with a top hat would walk in. And he would just slowly walk towards the bed. And what he would do is he'd get right to my bed frame, the foot of the bed. And he would just kind of like lean over until his face was right in front of my face. And we would just sit there for hours and hours. And all you want to do is scream. All you want to do is run. All you want to do is call your mom. All you want to do is get out of there, and you can't. And so that happened for a month straight, and it was the worst month of my entire life. I'll never forget it. And it was one of those few moments where I'm like, all right, I don't think that was people are like, oh man, at a certain age, chemical starts messing around, chemical imbalances, and, you start seeing things, and it's all in your head. I was like, BS. I was like, there's something. I still to this day go like, the sleep paralysis demon is just a real thing. That's what I think. Because then, of course, I'm the idiot who goes later as I'm like just getting older and kind of remembering things. I look it up. Apparently, there are stories of the sleep paralysis demon across almost every culture, spanning hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of years, and every single one of them typically impacts the firstborn male. That is the running theme is like, it's almost like something that torments the firstborn male, typically. But that was something where I was like, well, I regret Googling that, because that just gave me like a little bit, it gave me like a little bit more like it like solidified it a little bit more in my head, where like, oh, I just had wonky chemicals when I was 10. No, now I'm like some kid in Africa, and then some kid in China, and some kid in Serbia, Russia, are all just laying in bed trying to scream. I was like, this is insane. And it's all around puberty.
Oh my God.
It's between the ages of like 8 and 12. And I'm like, I don't like like all this tracks.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Sleep paralysis demon, if you're not familiar.
That is, well, it's kind of what makes it even, man, because now I'm starting to have like, like a touch of dread kind of looming over me, because I'm like, I'm a firstborn son.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was like, that's what
it only affected me. I have my buddy John. He had it. He was a firstborn son. Like I've talked to a handful of people, and they've all said that they've experienced it in some way or the other. And then the other weird thing is, so say you have a really terrifying experience or a really bad nightmare. Sometimes you get them recurring, right?
Right.
So sometimes you'll remember a really creepy situation or a horrific nightmare or night terror that you had years and years ago, and maybe it just like revisits you one night, and you have a nightmare. I've never experienced that since. Not for once. Even when I've tried to think about it, like I go to bed, I go to bed thinking about like the tall man looming over my bed and just staring at me with that creepy smile, no eyes, and just sitting there for hours. And typically you can almost trigger, you can trigger a nightmare, right? You can't do it with this. It just, he's not here.
Dude,
he's done with you. He did that to you when you were little, and now you're just scarred.
It's like, wait a minute, I didn't vote for this, okay?
No. This is not a democracy, by the way. Sleep paralysis demon is a dictator. Emphasis on the first part of that word.
Right. So, it's like at this point, why?
yeah. Please stop, dude. Just stop.
It's like, no, just, well, maybe that is one of those, maybe it's one of those things where, like, for as terrifying as that scenario was, and probably one of the more scarring incidents that most people will ever like encounter in their life, I do find it interesting that, like, you can take that and channel it into, kind of use that as like as a way to channel in some unsettling stuff to tell
Never
a story.
Let a good tragedy go to waste. That's that mentality, is you use everything. Unfortunately.
I mean, you know what? I mean, let's be real. If you're not going to take advantage of it, if you're not gonna take it, own it, and try and make something of it, what are we doing? I mean, you gotta do something with it. I mean, why? Otherwise, the sleep paralysis demon wins.
No, I'm monetizing this son of a gun, and we're making money off him. Okay, that's my goal.
I love it.
Hey, his dictatorship, I'm gonna win with capitalism. So take that, sleep paralysis demon. I win in the end.
Well, I will definitely say this, for what I just kind of wanted to showcase this, just because we had some people come in and say some stuff. John Wright said Our Monsters is off to a good start as a series. That's an endorsement right there as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And we also got another one here. Adapt Force has been there. Sleep paralysis demon will have you screaming with your eyes. That is, that's. Yeah, like, honestly, if eyes could scream, that would be the moment.
Yep. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. That's how much dread you fear, man. It's terrifying.
It's, like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Imagine a 10-year-old going through that. That's another thing that you think about.
That's, like, especially because, like, at that age, I mean, your brain is developed enough to be able to, like, kind of vaguely understand like what's going on, but you still have no idea. Like, and it's just like that at that moment, that's the most terrifying thing you probably have ever seen before.
Yeah, that's another reason why I say it adds a little bit of like validity to it. Like there's something about it to where it's like your most like, vulnerable moment as a child.
Yes,
and he comes a knocking. It's like, my goodness.
It's like, dude, that's a screams and blinks. I mean, that's basically what you get.
Yeah.
That is what you get. But I do want to take a moment again just to remind everybody, if you, like I said, if you've not already done so by this point, I think you should. Like I said, there's a link in the description. It is in the it's pinned to the top of the chat. Please go to that link if this sounds of even the slightest bit of interest to you. Go check it out. Go see what all is going on with Our Monsters. There's some really cool stuff going on there. Like I said, I backed it myself because it just looked really cool to me. Like just the idea of it and everything that's there. Like I'm in. I was like, all right, you got me. I'm doing it. So. Y'all go do it too. As matter like, and also just really off the strength of, let me see if I can pull this up. Really just off the strength of like right here, like just this right here had like, that's nightmare fuel for me right there. That's, the thing that might be at the end, like, and I don't know who all else does this. I'm when it comes to this one thing, I'm a real chicken shit. Like when you're in your house, there's no monsters, there's nothing there, but like you got to turn the lights off in the room, and like you
still walk a little faster after you turn off that last light. I don't know why, as a 36-year-old man, I run faster after I turn off my kitchen light. Why?
I mean, just in case,
dude. It's so just funny that I still do that.
Like for me, it's like because what if I don't? What if I don't take the monsters hiding in the dark seriously? And they're like, hey, that guy turned off the lights, and he thinks we're not gonna get him. Like what?
This schmuck, let's get him.
Yeah. And then now look at me. Now I'm on the 6 o'clock news as man mysteriously died in home. He was midway through the hallway as he turned out. The lights were off in the house. We don't know what happened.
When really what happened was you tripped over your Crocs and broke your neck, and it's just like, dude, the monsters got me.
Somehow I ghost dadded myself, and
got me, man.
It just that was it. And you know what? Honestly, it would have been deserved because those Crocs shouldn't have been 100%. In the middle of the floor.
They try and kill me every night.
But no, I want y'all to go check this out because, like I said, I believe in this. I think it's a fantastic thing, and and I also just want to say too, which y'all should also be doing. I mean, definitely go back, Our Monsters Volume 2 on Kickstarter. But I do think you should also, just, for I think just to, make life simple for yourself so you don't ever miss out on stuff like this. You should also go check out the links below. There are links in the description where you can follow Chris on socials. You can go to the website. You can go, go follow BentBox on Global Comics. There's links to all the stuff you could possibly want and or need, and that way you don't miss out on stuff like this. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend go do all the things. Go do all those things I said.
It. Yeah, and then I'll add that we still have, unless someone already snagged it, but we have the Your Monsters bundle that we recommend people check it out in case you are interested in seeing your own monster come to life. That's something that we started with issue 1. You can work with Luna and myself and come up with a creepy 1-page story, and it'll go in the next volume. So like right now, Luna's working on one of our submissions from last volume, and it's pretty good. Like I was impressed with the guy. I was like, this is good. I like the payoff at the end. This is nice. I'm helping him edit it a bit and make sure that it flows correctly. So yeah, definitely go snag
like
those. We only got 4 left.
Oh, so all right. So y'all like that. If that's not a call to action, I don't know what is. So look, there's 4. You might want to jump on that. I'm just putting that out there. And I guess obviously, we want people to go check out our monsters. But is there anything else that you wanted to plug while before we get out of here?
I mean, no, we just have a bunch of stuff. So just come follow us everywhere. BentBox Comics, pretty much everywhere, from TikTok to Instagram to Blue Sky, everywhere. We're BentBox Comics. We have pretty much anything you could be interested in. You like sci-fi, we got it. You like horror, we clearly got it. You like fantasy, we got some cool stuff there. But everything's on Global Comics, including a couple of Global Comics exclusives, including a bunch of freebies on Global Comics. So yeah, just follow us, and you'll never run out of cool comics with us.
Well, thank you so much again for doing this, and because it's anytime, it's always a good chat. So it's always good times. And yeah, y'all go do the thing. Like I said, links, all of it's down there. Go do it. Touch them all. Just go touch all the links, consensually, mind you.
I give you their consent. Don't worry.
Express
Please
written consent.
Yeah.
You have it here. Express written consent has been given to touch all the links.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone, for coming in and checking this out. And also, do me a favor. If you know anybody that might be interested in something like this, share that link with them too.
Sure.
Just spread the love around. That's how these things work out. And I guess until next time, we will see you all again, and hopefully we'll have Chris back again to talk about some more stuff coming from BentBox. Sure. And everybody, y'all be good to each other. Keep it plus ultra out there in these streets. Peace out.